Hi everyone, this is Nirmala Shekhar here, and we are here with the third video in the series Energy Tools for Self-Care. Today's tool is BodyTalk Cortices. This is a tool that introduced me to the world of energy healing at a time when I didn't realize that my body was affected by my father's passing away. So there was so much grief being held in the body that my mind was not aware of. And using this tool through a random Google search and trying it out, I realized that I got immediate help, immediate aid in some of the symptoms. And that's what brought me to get Body Talk sessions and eventually to become a Body Talk practitioner. So this tool is something that I have a deep connection with, and I'm really very fond of it. So let's look at what this technique is. When we talk about cortices, what does it mean? So I have here a skull cap demonstrating the different lobes that are there in the brain, and these are the cortices. And what this technique does is it harmonizes or connects the two sides of the brain at the cortex level. So it's basically connecting the two sides of the brain. But then it goes deeper in as well, from the reptilian brain right at the back down to the prefrontal cortex. So it's actually shifting us out of fight, flight, freeze modes of the reptilian brain down to the prefrontal cortex, which is the sage part, the wise part of our brain. So let's look at some of the benefits that we can have by practicing this technique. And remember in the previous video, in the very first video, I talked about the fact that repetition is key. So the more we are able to do a technique, especially in the initial stages while the habit is being formed, the more we will get out of it. So let's look at the benefits. So the very first benefit that we can experience is better left-right balance. So we are connecting the two sides of the brain right from the back to the front using our hands as conduits and our awareness and intention. So I just want to clarify that it's not just the hands, it's our focus, it's our intention and attention being put on this particular technique at that time that brings about the benefits. Once we have the capacity of the left and the right side of the brain available to us, then we can do so much more. And by enhancing the capacity of both sides, by making the two sides talk to each other at different levels, what we are doing is we are reducing our stress level. In fact, many times when clients come in and they are really stressed for whatever reason, this is the first technique that I will try with them to reset or calm the nervous system. Then they are in a better position to go on and benefit from the rest of the session. So this is one of the key factors that provides benefit for us, reducing stress and increasing capacity of the body, the brain and the nervous system to manage stress. So when we do this consistently over many days, many weeks, or maybe a daily habit, we are building resilience in our brain, resilience in our nervous system, and overall resilience, because now we know that the body and the mind are linked. And it is stress that contributes to almost every illness, every disease that we experience in modern times. So by reducing the experience of stress in the brain and the nervous system, we are contributing to overall health of the person. So that is very key. The other one is that we allow the body to heal itself when it is not combating stress. The calmer I am, the more coherent my brain is, the more aligned the left and the right sides are, the greater healing takes place, the greater capacity to heal that takes place in the body. And it is because of this reason that when someone experiences a shocking event or they experience an injury, this is the first thing that we are taught as part of quick aid or immediate emergency aid to do cortices. And if we are not able to touch the brain because of injury, we can even do it off the body in the energy field. And once we are practitioners, we can even do it in distance or remotely as well. So this really supports the body in starting that healing process in a very beautiful way. And lastly, all of us are learning. We are lifelong learners, and doing this technique supports us in better focus, better memory, and a capacity to learn by using both the creative side of the brain as well as the rational side of the brain. So this is a wonderful tool for all of us who are learning. And in everything in life as well. Just before this recording, I was stretched. I had so many things to do, arranging the light, arranging the microphone, and I was a little bit tired. And the first round of recording, I could feel that I was not in it. So immediately I took time off to do the technique for myself. And hopefully you can see the difference right now in the way I am presenting myself. So try this technique for yourself first, and then once you are convinced, you can start using it for others in the family. A couple of doubts that you may have in terms of how do we use this. The first question would be, how long should one do? How many times a day should one do? Initially, do this once a day. And if you see benefit, then you have the motivation to do more times in the day. And if there is an emergency, then surely do it more times a day until the pattern is set. Again, if you are having a body talk session or any other kind of session and you want to benefit from that session, then over the next few days, do this technique so that the body can start healing and repairing itself, shifting its energies much better because you are supporting yourself with this technique. Okay, so let's get started now with the actual technique. Like I shared before, we are harmonizing the two sides of the brain, the two lobes. And if you can see close up, I'm not sure if you can see how close, you can see that right at the back here, the occipital lobe on the left and the right. Similarly, the other lobes are all on the left and the right, and they are pretty much in the position that I am showing in this cap, right? So our intention and focus is to harmonize the left side of the brain with the right side. And for this, we are going to use a hand. And when you're holding the hand, one hand, either hand is fine. Make sure that the fingers are all together because we don't want any gaps, any parts of the brain where this benefit is not going to go to. So once you have the hand like this, hold it at the base of the neck, right there, where the reptilian brain is or the occipital lobe is, whichever you want to focus on. And once you have this hand as a conduit to connect the left and the right side, you're going to activate that connection by a series of tapping. And this tapping is done in 3 separate places. Tapping on the head. And when you're tapping on the head, make sure you're tapping on both sides. So if this is my left and right, you're tapping on both sides or this way. Make sure it's not this or this, it's this, right? So you're tapping on both sides of the head. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be very gentle. Or it can be in the field as well. It will still work. The next place to tap is the sternum. This is where the thymus gland is. This is where the heart field is. So this is where we are going to tap. And the third one, my camera is not set up to show that to you, but it's at the belly button area. We are tapping the gut brain. So basically, we are activating the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain to work on connecting the two sides of the head brain. Yes? So let's get started. First hand position, tapping the head, the heart, and the gut. So the question that people may have is, how long should I tap in each place? Initially, you can tap for 15 to 30 seconds at each position, or 1 to 2 breaths. Eventually, as you keep practicing, you will get awareness, a buildup of awareness. So you will know it's done at this position. I can move on. These will be little clues that your body or your mind, or just a innate feeling that this is done, you can move on. It may not be available to you immediately as you get started, but you can just do 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And once you have completed all the three, move on. So this is your pinky. This is your pinky. Hold your hand initially so you don't miss any part of the brain. And now you're going on to the next position. And in this position, again, you're going to be tapping at each of the three brains, head, heart, gut. And when you're done with that, I'm just going to speed up. When you're done with that, this is your pinky. Move on to the next location. And you're going to tap head, heart, and gut. And once that is done, once the hand comes here, you can either tap at the back or you can tap on top of the hand. It will still be equally effective. So you're tapping the head, heart, and the gut. And then you're bringing your hand. So we are starting from the back of the neck right up to the eyebrow. So we are covering the whole series this way. And then we are going to cover the sides. And here, if you're doing it for yourself, just press so that you're still feeling the pressure of the hand, and then mentally keep that hand here while you use it to tap. Go back in, press, and this time around mentally feel the pressure of this hand and then use that to tap. Even just for this brief demonstration, I felt my energy shift with that deep sigh. It was not made up, it's real, right? So you may feel something shifting in you, either with a sigh or with a yawn or with a sneeze or a cough or just a sense of well-being. Whatever it is that appears to you, that is your body's way of saying something has shifted. So this is the way you would do this technique for yourself. Now I want to share the way you would do this for somebody else, especially if there is a child at home. This is very powerful technique for children. Remember, it's for helping build resilience, left-right balance. And for very young children, a lot of brain development is happening in the very early years of their life. So doing this technique regularly for them is going to support their brain in that brain development phase. So I don't have anybody to demonstrate this technique for you with. So I've got a helper here. This is the only teddy that I have at home. My son is grown up, so I don't have any other teddy. So I'm going to show you how you could do it for a child. And remember, with a child, their heads can be very small and your hands are comparatively bigger. So with a few hand movements, you can cover the entire head. So you would hold your hand right at the base of the neck this way, and then tap their head, tap the sternum, and tap the belly button. You can just do 2 fingers. And once they are done, at that point, you just cover the next area, and you can actually get them to hold the sides, or you can do it yourself and then tap. Now, suppose the child is not cooperative or they are busy playing and you don't want to interrupt them, you can still do this technique. Remember, for children, you don't have to do it for so long. Their energy shift amazingly quickly. So what you can do is, as they are eating, as they are playing, you can just go gently to the back and say, I'm just tapping your cortices. And eventually they will get hold of it and you can teach them. But in the initial stages, you can just tap at the back, top of the head. And where their heart is, you just go to the back here and you would tap there. And where the belly button is, right at the back, that's where you can tap for the gut. It would be equally effective. So this works very well if you are just coming in from the back. So they can continue eating. Could be a breakfast ritual, could be a dinner ritual, doesn't matter. I'm a big fan of teachable moments. So if they are having a meltdown or if they are going through a stressful situation, that is the time to gently give them a hug and right at the back, tap their cortices in and feel the shift. And you will find that over time they become more and more responsive, and they may even come to you asking for their cortices to be tapped out. And at that stage, you can start teaching them how to do it for themselves. I hope this video is effective in helping understand the power of BodyTalk Cortices. Do let me know what your feedback is after you have tried it out. Thank you for joining me today. This is Nirmala Shekhar signing off. Bye-bye. Namaste.